Hello, Danvers, and welcome to another edition of Community Connections. This is our live event that we do yearly with nonprofit organizations from the town of Danvers, or who serve the town of Danvers, and it is one of my favorite nights of the year. I'm joined by Gail Bartlett, who's our underwriting coordinator here. Gail, what should we expect out of tonight?
You should expect a lot of excitement, some new nonprofits that haven't been on our show before. There is so much excitement and pizzazz happening right now in the green room. You can hear the buzz. My heart is happy because they're networking and they're sharing contact information. So you're going to learn about some fabulous nonprofits that you can volunteer with, you can support, that have events coming up in your community. So many outstanding people doing amazing things here in our area.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I love this night, we do it every year, is because you really get a sense of the passion that people have for the organizations they work for, they volunteer for, or maybe they receive services by or have done in the past. It's really cool. There's so many nonprofits in this town that do such amazing work, and this is a great night to support them, see what's going on. But we need to make one thanks first.
Oh, yes.
Because we said the green room was hopping, and part of that is because the food is awesome. So thank you to Texas Roadhouse, longtime sponsor of DCAT, as well as many other organizations in town, providing us food and really just helping out with organizations like ours over and over again. It's really great. So thank you for that.
I'm ready. Are you ready for fun?
Yeah, so I think first we're going to throw it over to Owen. He's going to be talking with, who's first? We got Harbor Light?
Yeah, we have Harbor Light with Owen.
All right, so let's throw it over to Owen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. So first, we'll be beginning with Harbor Light Homes. I'm joined by the Executive Director, Andrew DeFranza. Andrew, we'll start off with, what does Harbor Light Homes do? And tell us more about the history of your organization.
Yeah, Harbor Light Homes has been around for about 6.5 decades. It's a community development corporation that was founded originally by the First Baptist Church in downtown Beverly. And so we do generally 4 things. We develop affordable housing for seniors and essential workers, people with disabilities, formerly homeless, other folks. We manage that affordable housing all around the North Shore region. We do a lot of public education and advocacy around that. And we provide some interesting supportive services for special populations like frail seniors or young adults with autism.
All right, awesome. And so for the second question here, how does Harbor Light come to decide what kind of housing and design is right for the community in general?
Yeah, we usually try to listen to the community. We have a lot of conversations, so we might go a year or more having meetings with neighbors and public officials and public bodies like the zoning board, the planning board, and others.
Yep.
And they'll explain to us kind of what they're looking for, what they're trying to accomplish, what their goals are. We'll also look around the area to make sure that we're being contextually sensitive.
So I guess this question kind of builds off of the second question. And you kind of already answered it, but we'll ask it again just in a different way. So does Harbor Light actively collaborate with a host community when creating affordable housing? And in what other ways in what you already added?
Yeah, we do, and it's sort of one of the reasons we exist. Is that the whole intent was to have an organization that was rooted in the local community and the local region that understood it and had the relationships so they could develop consistent with what people's goals were in those communities. So I would say a lot of that is, as we described before, some of it is around, you'll have advocacy groups, or sometimes a community will have, like Danvers has an affordable housing trust that's trying to meet some certain goals, and will be responding to their goals, sometimes written, sometimes in discussion.
So how does affordable housing, just in a general sense, impact a community in all the different ways, such as residential community, business community, and just the community as a whole?
Yeah, it impacts in a number of ways, but a couple of critical ones are what you're finding, especially in recent years with the out-migration of employees in Massachusetts, is we need housing for our workers. And so employers need housing that's economically accessible for their essential workers to live here. And so housing creates workforce-based housing, affordable housing does. Additionally, for folks that have seniors in the community who've spent decades and decades building up a community, if they want to stay in the community, which they almost always do, it's critical to have affordable housing for them to be able to move into. And then I think last one is, as people's children are growing, I have young adults in my house. As they're growing, we want them to stay close to home. They need to have ability to find places that they can live to make their own households.
Yeah, and finally, what is your role like in Danvers, right here where we are?
Yeah, so in Danvers, we've looked in Danvers off and on over the years. It's one of the few places we don't have any buildings yet, but we've been looking very regularly. We just recently, in the last 6 months, put out a bunch of feelers up and down sort of the street by Market Basket, some of the sites there, because there's been some zoning changes, looking for sites. So we're actively looking for a site in Danvers and actually a site in Middleton.
Awesome. Isn't there anything you'd like to say to the public right
Yeah,
now
if
about
you-
your organization? To
Thank
finish
you
up?
for supporting us. And if you have any sites in Danvers that you think would be interesting for housing essential workers, seniors, people with disabilities, give us a call.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll throw it over to John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. Appreciate that. Great interview. I'm joined here today with two people from North Shore Pride, President Hope Watt Bucci and Vice President Rachel Pele. I was going to say Pele, and I said, no, that's probably wrong. It's too easy to say that. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Hope, you and I have spoken before on Community Connections in depth, but tell us about 2025. How was your events this year? How were your events?
Oh, I think it was amazing. Our theme in 2025 was Show Your Pride in 2025 because of all that's gone on both politically and socially in our country. We wanted to make sure that our community knew that we stood behind them and stood up for them. And so that was our theme. We exceeded expectations. I'll talk about the parade. Rachel can talk about the festival. We had over 100 groups in the parade, which was we really couldn't have imagined a better parade. Thank you. Big shout out to Salem DPW, who helped keep us safe during that parade. We had a lot of new groups in the parade, which was amazing to see that our outreach has worked, and we're being joined by other community members who align with our mission. So we're so grateful for that. Rachel?
Yeah, our festival we had over 100 vendors. We had a wait list. Everybody really enjoyed it, and we got great feedback, and I'm glad we were able to support our community.
That's excellent. Both events sound like they really, really took off this year versus what we heard about in our previous conversation, and that's just great. So looking forward to 2026. What do you have on tap there?
Oh, wow. We have a lot of things on tap. So we have some new events that we can't quite announce yet. But we've come up with a new theme. Do you want to talk about the new theme?
Go ahead.
Pride Forever, Stronger Together. Thank you. Shout out to Colby on the board who came up with that one. So Pride Together, Stronger Forever.
Nice.
Because of, again, the reflection of what's happening in society right now towards the LGBTQ plus community, and really needing people to come together, show support, and let people know that they're safe within the North Shore Pride community.
That's great. And before we get too far along here, talk about your mission, because we kind of skipped right over that into your events. What is your mission for North Shore Pride?
Do you want to do that? You want? Okay. Okay. Mission is education and advocacy on behalf of LGBTQ plus persons here on the greater North Shore. And we're honored to do that. This is 2026 will be our 15th year. I can't believe it. Starting in 2012. It's been amazing. It's grown exponentially every single year. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so I think you said that it started in your living room 15 years ago, just a couple of friends getting around saying we have to do something. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Right?
It did. It started in the living room with just people, like-minded people. And Rachel, you want to talk about the expansion of the board?
Oh, yeah. We finally have a full board. We got 4 new members. So we are really excited to be able to grow our organization, our missions, and our events.
That's great. Yeah. Board of directors. Are they board of directors, or yeah, that's what they're called?
Board of directors, all volunteer, by the way. No one gets paid.
Yep. It's typically the way we would all work. But yeah, so having a good board of directors is so important as you lay out further strategy statements and areas how you want to expand, events that you want to have. They can help you with a lot of that. So that's great that you have a full board now.
Yes.
That's wonderful. How can the Danvers community help you with your mission?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I do want to tell people that today is the Transgender Day of Remembrance. It honors and remembers all the trans community that have died or were killed as a result of transphobia. So we're going to be focusing and doing some events with the trans community as well. As far as how you can help us, Rachel, we know what we need, right?
Yes, we always need donations, volunteers, and of course just coming out to our events.
That's great. So check out their website. I'm sure they have all of that information listed right on there, how you can volunteer, how you can donate to them, and how you can support them otherwise. But Hope, Rachel, thanks for coming today. Best of luck in 2026.
Thanks so
hope
much,
you
John.
exceed all of your expectations there as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank
So you're welcome.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks for having us. Back to you, Owen.
Thanks, John. So now we'll begin with the Friends of the Danvers Library here with Michelle Chaucy. Michelle, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. We'll start off with the basics. Who are the Friends of the Danvers Library?
The Friends is a nonprofit volunteer group of about 125 members who really love libraries, especially our beautiful Peabody Institute Library. Our mission is to enrich the cultural and educational life of the community and to enhance the activities of the library. We have monthly meetings, and we're open to have more people come and become engaged with us.
That's awesome. And to add on to that, what do you see as your main role in the community and subsets of that?
Well, one of our main roles is to provide programming that's cultural and educational for the community. We also do some community-based events, such as an annual open house for kids and adults, and we have an annual book sale every June where people can come and get books for as little as $1.
That's awesome.
We also offer museum passes to 18 different attractions, now statewide.
That's awesome. So in terms of, I know you already talked about some of the programming that you offer. Are there any other programs that you want to mention that you didn't mention?
Yes, specifically, for instance, we have musical concerts. We had last February for Black History Month, we had a group of music from the Black South who sang about freedom riders. We have had an Irish concert this year. We sponsored a concert for kids behind the library. And just this past weekend, we had a classical concert with violin and piano. We also, in the past year, have had 2 writing your own history workshops. And there's a number of other things. We had a program in partnership with the Endicott Park where we had a tour through by the tour guides there, and they talked about the rangers. They talked about a book they had written. So we really try to offer a diverse array of programming.
And I know you guys obviously are in support of the community itself, but how do you guys work with and support the library as well?
Well, we do that by helping raise awareness of the library's attributes, and also by having programs there that bring people in who might not have already been there. We also provide financial underwriting to a lot of their projects. For instance, there's a mural in the children's room that we contributed to, and we will do that for a lot of their different activities, things that, again, with cuts to libraries nationally, they may not be able to do themselves.
And obviously, with all the organizations here, it's really important that they get new members and keep members. So how can someone become a member of your group?
Well, we happen to be in our 2026 membership season right now. So people can join for as little as $20 for an individual membership. You can go to danverslibrary.org. If you go to About, you'll find the Friends page, and there's an online application, or you can get an application at the library. We're able to do these things because of membership donation.
That's awesome.
Dollars.
Yeah, and is there anything else you'd like to say to the public, or do you think you've gotten your point across? What do you think?
Well, I just think that it's up to us to keep a library alive and vibrant, and we just invite more people to come and try something at some of our events at the library. We try to offer a variety.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. John, back to you.
Thank you, Owen. I'm joined by 2 people here right now, Andrew Connolly and Eileen Lonergan from the Salem Clubhouse. Now, this is a new organization to Danvers, the Salem Clubhouse. Tell me, what's it all about?
The Clubhouse is a place for people with mental illness. It's a day program, and its staff and members work together. We have 5 different departments. We have a business unit where people are learning to count money, keep track of all the daily things that happen, the reports and all that. We have a food service unit where we're learning to cook. If you are a cook, you clean, you waitress. We just get people to do things. And then we have a snack bar where there's a register, et cetera, and sell snacks. We have a vocational department with a vocational counselor. Our main issue is to get people back to school, back to work. And then we have the community service department. I'm the donation coordinator for this department, and we do donations. We created a calendar, I'll explain later, and we raise money for our clubhouse to do for things for social activities.
Now, this sounds like a pretty big organization.
It is. It's under Elliott.
And how many people do you end up serving, perhaps in a month or a year, or?
We have about, I think it's roughly 65 members right now, with basically a wait list at the moment because it is continually growing.
And so those members come on a daily basis?
Whatever
fits their
works for
schedule.
them.
Whatever works for us goes in.
Excellent.
In fact, we just had a we just had a Thanksgiving dinner for
today,
which was catered by the Brothers Deli.
Nice. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving a little bit early,
Yeah.
can't beat it. And then they get 2 Thanksgivings in if that works. So tell me about the activities, how they actually help the members integrate into the community.
We have so many incredibly talented members we just on the 14th at the Peabody VFW, we had a showcase fundraiser, which was had live music, vendors that sold jewelry, baked goods, photography, artwork, all created and put together by the members of the clubhouse, and continually raising more funds again for the social program. We have all kinds of incredibly
talented,
so many on so many scales that even if they don't realize what they have at first, we help them realize what they could benefit from that and help them move into that and better their best, as it were, to get into the work field or even get back to school also.
That's really great how you're helping people tap into an innate skill that they have that they may not realize is something that can help them with their livelihood or help them in society and help them integrate back into a very active lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Very. And we're living proof.
Yeah, that's great. That really is.
Living proof.
You mentioned a calendar earlier.
Yes.
How does that work? Who benefits?
It goes for our social activities program. This year we raised $5,479 worth of prizes. In January we sell the calendar for $20. Your name goes in the pot. It stays in for 31 days. And once a day we draw a name and you win all the prizes that are...
Oops.
There it goes. By the way.
Live TV.
Always a blooper. So, and then we win the prizes. The biggest prize is from Danvers, actually, which is the DoubleTree Inn Hotel and 4-night water passes, and then you can have dinner at the
restaurant there?
The restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So,
So where are those calendars available?
Those calendars are available. You can directly from us, directly from the clubhouse. You can mail the main office in Lexington, 125 Hartwell Avenue. You can go to salemconnections.org and scan your code, and you can get it on the scan.
Online. Beautiful.
And and then we'll mail you the calendar.
That's great. That's wonderful. I hope it really works out well for you.
Last year it worked out very well. We've gotten to do so many fun things, and you talked about activities going into integrating the community. I have living proof that once somebody brought fun into my life after 10 years of medical hell, I was able to get up and get better. I did the steps. I actually came off of Social Security, learned how to run Putnam Pantry, and then unfortunately I got sick again, but I did other things, and I kept bouncing back, and I have a list of jobs that I tried. You know, with illness in the mental health field, it's not linear. You're either up, really, really up, or you're really, really down. And the clubhouse, somebody quoted today, was happy that it wasn't pressured. If you don't show up, no big deal. We send out greeting cards. We hand make greeting cards for birthdays, for hospitals. We really keep in touch with each other.
That's great.
We start as strangers, we become friends, and then we become family, and that is
perfect. That's perfect. Thanks so much for coming on today. Wish you the best of luck in 2026. Good luck with the calendars.
Thank you.
And I'll be signing on and getting one myself.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Owen.
Thanks, John. Another great group there. So now we're joined by Amanda Lane, the education specialist with HAWC. First, let's start off with, what does HAWC stand for, so people know?
That's a great question. So HAWC stands, it's HAWC, by the way. It stands for Healing Abuse Working for Change. And now, it did not always stand for those words. It originally was founded in the 70s as Healing Abused Women and Children. But we know that in the field of domestic abuse, that anybody can become a survivor of domestic abuse, and so our name reflects that now.
Yes. So what are you seeing on the front lines of your organization right now in general and in Danvers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do, at Hawk, we serve 23 cities and towns across Essex County, so Danvers being one of them. And like many of the other nonprofits that are here tonight, one of the major issues that we've been seeing is food insecurity. Now, obviously, that was exacerbated by the government shutdown, by the changes that are being made to SNAP. However, we began seeing that about 2 months ahead of time. Before that happened, we saw a major uptick where our clients, they needed food, basic necessities, toiletries, in a way that we haven't seen for a long time. And so that's one of the biggest challenges. And just anecdotally, it's really difficult for us to meet those needs right now. I began at Hawk at the end of June, and our donation closet was full when I was there. We do have a closet where our clients can come in and just take what they need when they need it. However, in the last at least a month, probably longer, our shelves have been mostly bare. We put out a big SOS to a lot of our supporters and asked for some of those basic toiletries, and they responded.
That's
and
awesome.
Yet it was amazing. However, as soon as they come in,
They're
those
gone.
donations go out. And so as of a couple hours ago when I left the office, we had 7 bars of soap. We did not have shampoo, conditioner, body wash, a lot of the diapers that our clients use. So that is a major challenge. We're also seeing on a broader scale, systemically, we're seeing an issue of women leaving the workforce. There's been a recent study that came out that showed right now mothers of children under the age of 5, over January to August, they left the workforce at record numbers. We haven't seen those numbers in history since the pandemic being the only other time. And that can put a lot of our clients at risk for domestic abuse when they're not being surrounded by colleagues and friends at work. They become more isolated, and it's harder to catch those things as they're happening.
Yeah, so I assume this question must be important. So can you tell us about Hawk's new prevention education programming?
I think it's important because it's my program.
Yes, okay. That's why it's there, right?
Yes, it is,
Yes,
and
cool.
that's why I'm here. So,
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, Hawk and a lot of agencies like Hawk, we've had to spend a lot of time managing crises, being very reactive to issues as they've come about. However, we know that one of the best ways to combat domestic abuse is to go and meet people where they're at when they're younger, so that we're not just solving the problems as they arise, but we are getting ahead of the game. And so we have this new programming in prevention education on healthy relationships. So my role at Hawk, it's a new role, and I get to go into the public schools, and I get to share about healthy relationships, dialogue with middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even college students. And we do have a partnership that we are beginning at Danvers High School right now. And so we're really excited to be able to share some of that programming, to work with the students and to work with the faculty, the staff who are there as well.
And so to finish up, and I was kind of going to ask you earlier because about the closet you guys said you have.
Yes.
With, diminished resources that you guys always need help for the community. Yep. If someone wanted to get involved, such as giving, necessary items to that closet, what are some of the ways that they can get involved with that, or in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, of course, we can take donations. We do actually have a list on our website. We have an Amazon wish list and a list of items that we can always accept. There are some items we can't, just based on, sanitation codes.
Yep.
But we can accept those donations in our Salem office, and we also have an office in Lynn, if anyone happens to be closer to there. We also have an upcoming volunteer training that's beginning on December 1st. We've got a lot of roles where people can volunteer. It can be sort of as much or as little as you're able to give, but this volunteer training is our pre-service training that all of our staff receive. And So that's an exciting way that people can get involved, potentially becoming legal advocates in the court, working with children in our shelter, or working on our hotline as well, that's staffed 24/7 by our volunteers.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. John, throw it.
Thank you, Owen. Great organization. If you have a lot to be thankful for next week, go online to hawkdv.org and make some donations. Make some, fill their closet for them, will you? Thank you. So I'm joined here by Walter Hartford from Grateful Friends. Walter, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure. Tell the Danvers community a little bit more about Grateful Friends, what your mission is, what you're all about.
We were founded about 11 years ago, and we help adults who are facing cancer diagnoses. And we help them in a couple of different ways. One, we give them comfort baskets when they first get diagnosed, and those comfort baskets have a lot of different things that we know that they need. So eyebrow pencils, glass bottles to drink their water out of, because they typically, if you're doing chemo, you get a metal taste in your mouth. Queasy drops so that you don't feel nauseous. So that's one big aspect, and the other aspect is more financial, and we help people with their bills. So we keep food in their refrigerators, we keep their electricity on, keep gas in their cars, that type of thing. And then a couple of other ones where we help out both the caregivers of those people those adults facing cancer, as well as helping them maybe go to a movie. So just take their mind off of what's really a terrible
terrible time.
situation.
Yeah, that's great. So part of what you talked about was actual donations, but part of it sounded like programs that you offer. Is that correct? There are specific programs?
We have. It's mostly there are programs that are facilitated through social workers. So the social worker at a hospital. So we partner with the social worker like Anna Jakes or at Beverly Hospital, Winchester Hospital. They identify some of these people who are in need, and so we're really delivering whether economic assistance or the baskets to them. One thing we've done recently is the comfort baskets. We've had some corporate companies that wanted to create the baskets for us, and so we partnered with them. They would do it as a team building exercise, and then we would get 10, 15 baskets created, and then we're turning those around, as unfortunately way too quickly.
Yeah, but that's great. Give them some credit. Who are your corporate partners?
AMG, for example, out of Beverly, helped us recently, and we have a couple of Leslie Ray Insurance is a big supporter of ours as well.
That's great. That really is. That's wonderful. So it sounds like you're pretty far-reaching, right? How far out do you go?
So Middlesex and Essex County. I mean, we've typically been very focused, more Beverly, Winchester Hospital we've had a big relationship with. But one of the kind of growth initiatives for us is really extending out that reach and making sure that both from a donor perspective, but also really from who we can touch, extending that out. So we've done little dinner party type things, just ways to build awareness that we're there, because a lot of people don't realize that we're there to help.
That's right. And how do you get your funding?
So we've done a certain number of events. So we just actually had Natalie Merchant played the Cabot for us 2 weeks ago. Huh. She was in a jazz band with our president's husband. So that was a very successful event, and we were able to get some money in, but also make sure that we targeted people that we wanted to be there with us. So we kind of extended it out, but that was the big one. Again, build awareness from that. And then we do a lot of fun little things. We're doing a jailbreak on April 1st where we go to a local brewery, we arrest people. We could grab you if you'd like. And then we get people to bail them out.
Right.
Post
that bond, right.
We raised $11,000 last April 1st, so it's it's April Fool's Day, so it works.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. That sounds like a great event. It's fun. Obviously, you're at a bar, right? So can't be too bad, right? Exactly. That's funny. So what upcoming initiatives? Obviously, you're going to do that again in April. Yep. But what other events do you have that the Danvers community can look forward to?
In May, probably right around Mother's Day, we're going to do a luncheon. So we typically have a fall and a spring event for a luncheon. One, we either use Fernwood and Kernwood and Ferncroft. I go back and forth. The one where the bridge isn't being worked on, we'll make that the fall one. But So if you look on our website, we have gratefulfriends.org is our website. And,
Excellent.
And that stuff will be out there. But so we generally have a couple of events like that, and then a lot of these smaller events. I live in Ipswich, so we're going to be doing something in Ipswich. We did something in we did a basket drive in Marblehead very recently. So again, we're really trying to get more into the communities
Excellent.
that we serve.
Walter, that's great. Thanks for being involved in the organization. It sounds like you're doing wonderful, wonderful work. I know it's got to be terrible times for the people that you're trying to serve, and bringing them a little bit of comfort, a little bit of joy, a little bit of even helping them with their illness through the things that you mentioned, the anti-nausea stuff and stuff. But yeah, that's really good. Thanks so much for doing that, and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, I appreciated the opportunity.
A pleasure. So now we're going to see a couple of video clips for people that couldn't be here today. The first one is from Habitat for Humanity. There's 2 videos. The first one is on their Hamilton Build site, and the second one is their Restore project, which is a great program that you're going to hear all about. So over to the control room.
The right chair can make a room. It can also make a home. The Habitat Restore offers great prices on new and gently used furniture and building materials that can improve your home and the lives of others. With all sales at the Restore directly supporting Essex County Habitat for Humanity's mission of building affordable homes. Improve a room and a life.
Thank you to Habitat for Humanity for those great videos. We wish you could have been here tonight, but those were really great. Now I'm joined by Noah Levitt, the Director in Marketing and Communications for Northeast Arc. Noah, can you tell us about Northeast Arc to begin?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having us here. So Northeast Arc is a human services agency based here in Danvers, Massachusetts. And we are committed to helping people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, autism and physical disabilities, live as fully included members of their communities. We provide a wide range of services. We're based in Danvers, but we're in 200 communities across Massachusetts, supporting about 10,000 people each year. And we really support people throughout the full arc of their lives, from birth through our early intervention programming, through childhood programs, ABA programs, family support, providing job and skills training for people who want to enter the workforce. We also operate 30 residential homes across the North Shore, several here in Danvers, allowing people with disabilities to live in community settings. And then we also have programs like personal care management, or our clinical nursing programs, that allow people with disabilities to live independently at home, which is really important, not in hospitals or institutions. So we're really proud of the impact that we have, not just here in Danvers, but really all across the eastern Massachusetts and the North Shore.
Yeah, and I think in my town you guys have a building right in my downtown area, so that's awesome. And So what is your presence like in Danvers specifically? Can you expand on that?
Yep. So our headquarters are in Danvers, and then probably our biggest impact in Danvers is actually at Liberty Tree Mall. In late 2020, we opened the Center for Linking Lives, which is 26,000 square feet of space at Liberty Tree Mall that was previously retail space. And so that's where we operate all of our community-facing programs. So it's a great way for people who are receiving services to get to an easily accessible location, but also for people wanting to get more information. And then we also have a great store there called Parcels. So it's a store that every product in the store is made by someone with a disability or autism, people we support, but also creators from all across the country and all across the United States and several countries around the world. And actually this coming weekend, Saturday, November 2nd, we're having a great holiday market. There'll be about 40 vendors, all with disabilities or autism, showcasing their crafts, photography, jewelry, basically anything you can think of. And that'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And again, that's at Liberty Tree Mall this Saturday.
And I know you just talked about an event right there as well, but my next question right on this list is talking about new programs and events. Are there any others that you want to talk about as well?
Yeah, so there's a couple of interesting things that we have going on that we just launched. One that we're really excited about is called the Saving Lives Swim Program. So drowning is one of the leading causes of death for children, but especially for children with autism. And so what we've done is for folks who are for children who are in our early intervention program, which is ages 0 to 3, they can actually get a free series of swim lessons at the JCC of the North Shore or YMCAs around the North Shore. So it's really an important way to be able to provide what is a life-saving skill to families who need it. That was funded by Stephen Rosenthal, who's from Swampscott, so we're really thankful for his contributions. And then something else that I think is sort of really important about Independence at the Liberty Tree Mall, we have an assistive technology lending library. So for people who aren't familiar, assistive technology is basically any technology. It can be high-tech things like iPads or communication devices, or lower-tech things like canes that just help people live more independently. And we actually have a library at the mall where people can go in, try out these devices, get an assistive technology consultation, and learn about how that might enable them to live a little more independently.
And to kind of wrap it up here, but one of the most important things is for all these groups is getting involved and learning about the groups in general, so you might want to get involved.
Yep.
Can you explain how people can get involved with Northeast ARC in general or in Danvers, and also how they might just learn about it if they want to get involved potentially?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to learn about our work, you can go to ne-arc.org. I think it's right there on the graphic below me, or follow us on all the social media channels. So I think there's a few ways people can get involved. One, like every organization, donations.
Yep.
We're in a time now where federal and state funding is, really up in the air. So we're always grateful for donations, especially from our various corporate partners. We're always looking for volunteers. That is really one of the biggest and best ways to make an impact, is providing some friendship and community to the people that we support. And we're really grateful to work again with a lot of corporate partners who will host bingo nights, or they'll go to residential houses and paint, or they'll host Halloween parties. So if you go to our website and look up the volunteer services, a woman, Suzanne Ryan, who's been with the ARC for 30 years, is really eager to find people to partner with us. And then the last thing would be supporting some of our social enterprises. So I mentioned Parcels at the Mall. We have Breaking Grounds, which is a coffee shop in Peabody. Which also serves as the job training program, so people can learn about working in food service. And then after finishing that internship, they can go out and work in the community. We operate a shredding business in Danvers. People might not know Heritage Shredding. We're over on Garden Street. So if you're a business and maybe looking for some document destruction, that's a service we can provide. And again, it provides employment opportunities for people with disabilities.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
John, throw it over to you.
Thank you, Owen. I'm joined here with David McKenna from the Danvers Historical Society, another great organization here in town that's been around for a long, long time, hence the historical part of the name. Welcome, David. And you've been with the organization for a long time, right?
I've been with the organization since, I've been a member for many years, but on the board since 2016.
Oh, good for you.
Served 4 years as president. Now I'm past president. I'm the has-been now.
Yeah.
I'm here covering bases.
So, what happened in 2025? What kind of things has the society accomplished? Tell us about the year.
Well, we've made a lot of improvements on our buildings. Page House, we got a coat of paint, some new windows, insulation, electric upgrade. We've Tapley Hall. We got new doors. We got new carpet because the other one was getting very ratty and disheveled. And Glen Magna, we've completed the renovations of the tea house, the gazebo. We put a handicap bathroom in the mansion toward the hope of getting it open sometime in the near future. And a lot of other minor things we've had to do to get it back up to code because it's been a long time.
Yeah, and I know as soon as you start doing renovations on older buildings, then you have to meet the new codes. So I know how difficult that can be. When do you think that the mansion will be open for people again?
Well, the problem was not so much we started renovations, but we never changed the use. Even though it was no longer residence we bought, it was never officially changed. And because of that, we had to bring it up to code. We are planning on putting sprinklers in the building now. It'll eliminate some of the other things we thought we were going to have to do. Add a couple more bathrooms, and we are hoping to have the building open to the public for events in about a year.
About a year. Okay.
About a year.
Well, speaking about events, I know you put a tent up outside, a permanent tent, correct? And for all the weddings and events that you have there. How's that been going? That's been up for a couple of years, correct?
That's been up for about 4 years now. And in fact, we were put up just before COVID. But we've been managing to cover our bills with that, getting a lot of grants, fortunately, which is drying up, if unfortunately. Right. But we've been able to accomplish a lot. And we have events going on constantly. We've the Parade of Trees starting next week or next month. We had speakers every third Wednesday of every month. We've had some good speakers in the past about the history of the Revolution and the history of Danvers State Hospital, Native American subjects, and they're very often very well attended.
That's great. Do you still do the little kids school program where you bring them to Tapley Hall and show them what a rotary phone looks like? And
yes, we do. And they look at it and say, what is that? But yes, we've been doing that. And Sheila ran that for many years. She's retired from the program now. But we have a couple of school teachers that are on the board who have taken it over. And it's still been very successful. And basically, I believe every third grader in Danvers goes through that program.
That's excellent. Yeah. It really is a fun program to be involved in. When I was on the board a long time ago, I was participated in that 1 year, and you're right. Those kids' reaction to some of the things that we all in our generation took for granted is just so, whether it's a clock radio or even a VCR today, it's all so different for these kids that are growing up with their iPhone and by 2 years old know how to work it, or an iPad or whatever, the TV remote. But so let's switch gears for a little bit. And I know you're also on the Rebecca Nurse House reenactment group.
The Danvers Alarmlist Company.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. So what is the Historical Society and the Alarm List doing for the 250th anniversary?
Well, I joined the Alarm List back in '74. I was one of the first recruits, and we attended most of the major battles, reenactments all around the country, and even went over to Paris for the signing of the treaty that ended the Revolution. We've had a lot of programs in Danvers at the Historical Society. We started in 2023 with programs, lectures about different aspects of the history of the town and the Revolution. Blacks and women involved in the Revolution. The first shot fired in Danvers that almost started the Revolution when someone took a pot shot at General Gage's house. Fortunately, no troops were there, so they got away with it. Or the shot heard around the world might have been in Danvers.
Could you imagine that, huh?
I can imagine that, yeah.
Home of the Salem witch trials and home trials and home of the Revolution. That's too funny.
Yeah, but I've been told I'm going to be heading the town's Rev 250 committee as well. So we're going to be wrapping a lot of things up, try to put a commemorative book together. We're going to have more enactments, and we're going to have a town meeting next May where we will reenact the vote taken by the town of Danvers in 1776 to join the cause and separate from England.
The King Unwilling.
King Unwilling, yes.
Yep. That's great. I look forward to that. So one final question for you. Ingersoll Ordinary.
Been a long haul on that. The Historical Society is not directly involved in it. They refuse to get involved. Grenville wanted to give it to the society, but he wouldn't let us in to see the inside, what condition it was in. And we said, no way we're going to take it. Pig in the poke.
Right.
So it just dragged on, and finally the town got involved. We changed the bylaws to allow regulation of demolition by neglect, which is what was happening. The town put it into receivership, and it's been awarded to a receiver who's going to restore it. He is sympathetic to historic buildings. He's done several. I took a personal interest in it and got roped into being a liaison between Grenville, the owner, the past owner, and the fire and health departments to try to keep things focused, try to keep communications open, and then got roped into taking over the Facebook page to save the Ingersoll Ordinary, to try to keep thoughts focused again and cut down on some of the silly ideas being put forward by people that, he just wants it to fall down so he build condos. I said, it's not big enough for a house bail illegally, never mind condos. So it's working out. The house will be preserved, and another house has been saved for the history of Danvers.
Excellent. Yes, it's it's unfortunately the house has fallen into great disrepair, and I think the barn out back or the garage out back has already been torn down. Correct.
The barn collapsed about 10 years ago, I think it was, and was finally torn down.
Yeah.
But there has been a tarp put over the roof where the hole was, so they are getting ready to start on it. I finally did get inside. Most of the building did not look bad at all.
Oh, good.
Just under the hole in the roof, the 2 rooms were a shambles. But other than that, it looked like you could sweep them out and move in. But I understand there's a mold problem that will require removal of virtually all the plaster in the building. So it's going to be a major overhaul. But the exterior would be preserved and restricted because it's in the historic district.
That's great.
And hopefully the interior will be treated sensitively as well.
Beautiful. That's a wonderful thing for the Historical Society, even though they're not directly involved. Another piece of history saved for Danvers, and somebody that has deep pockets and can make this happen for us. That's wonderful. Yeah. David, thanks so much for being here. All the best in 2026, and happy 250th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good pleasure being here, and thank you for talking with me.
Always a pleasure, Dave. Always a pleasure. Okay, Owen, back to you.
Awesome, John. Thank you so much. So we got another great group here. I'm joined by Mary E. MacDonald from Rest Stop Ranch. We'll begin with, what is Rest Stop Ranch and what is their mission?
Thanks so much, Owen. It's great to be here. What is our mission? It's to provide support and sanctuary for all on a long-term care journey, and especially the caregivers needing respite. And that's why we call ourselves Rest Stop Ranch. It's family caregivers, Owen, who need a break. It's those caregivers, grandparents caring for grandchildren. Some grandchildren are caring for grandparents if they have Alzheimer's or dementia. It's spouses caring for spouses. It's adult children caring for their parents. Sometimes it's teens in the home caring for their parent or their grandparent. So those are the family caregivers, Owen, and we want to see more of them.
And so obviously, just like every group here, they're always going to need funding to support their missions. So who are some of the primary people funding your organization?
Thanks, Owen. The people funding our organization are mostly individuals.
Oh, that's good.
They really understand the need for support for caregivers as well as people living with long-term care. Just recently, last year, there was an individual who was managing an estate, actually out in California, if you can believe it. And then $25,000, became liquid. And then that individual knew about our nonprofit and said, I think this nonprofit can do a world of good with this funding. It's that kind of decision making by an individual, Owen. And also, it's the organizations that are family like-minded, like Christopher Reeves Foundation, who has given us $5,000 to complete the trail towards the Lily Pond. And it's organizations like Northeast Arc, who just agreed to be a strategic partner.
Awesome.
For our holiday strolls, which I know you'll ask me about later, hopefully.
Yes. Question number 4. But question number 3, it says one of the things you guys have been doing, you've been building wheelchair accessible gardens for 15 years now. Very impressive. Do you have a favorite story with that?
You betcha. Well, someone who works here, J.D. Martz, seen and heard. He visited last year, and his comments, being a power wheelchair user, were, Mary and Carl, I used to love hiking, and this is the closest to hiking I have felt since becoming a paralyzed individual, where I can feel independent with my wheelchair, zoom about, not feel like I'm going to get stuck in the mud, and feel safe and enjoy the outdoors.
That's awesome. And so question number 4, which we were just talking about, does Rest Stop Ranch, my apologies, offer any holiday programming?
Absolutely. I hope you'll show our image.
Yeah, and we have an image to show with it, of course, too.
We've been offering the holiday stroll now for probably 10 years, and each year it gets better and better. This year, we have an artist from Lincoln, Mass. coming, and he's going to project flowers into the trees, Owen. And we've never seen anything like this before, and no one else has either. So I hope people will register on Zeffy. That's how people register, Zeffy.com.
Awesome. And while we get that image up for your organization, we'll just I'm just going to ask, how do folks follow Rest Stop Ranch or learn more about upcoming programs and get involved?
Oh, please visit our website, reststopranch.org, and learn about Giving Tuesday programs on Mighty Cause. There's matching going on right now, Owen. If people give, their dollar will be matched 100%.
Oh, awesome.
And that makes the bigger difference when there's a match involved. And we would love people to get involved with volunteering. We've got volunteers in the garden every single week, even through the winter. Volunteers with our programs and our events. We've got bonfires in the wintertime that we need volunteers for. And we want more guests from Danvers, of course.
Of course. Yeah, and just for anyone who's watching while they're here right now, she did drop off some of those images the image that we dropped off, some of them in physical form. So make sure you stop by at the front desk with Ginny, grab a couple of those. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Owen.
John, we'll throw it back to you.
Thank you, Owen. Now, I'm joined here by Dick Moody from Operation Troop Support. Dick is a friend of mine. I've known him probably 10 or 15 years now. It's been quite a long time. But Dick runs an organization that is doing God's work, honest to God. He started this 23 years ago with a very simple decision that he made to put together a care package to go to someone overseas. Dick, tell us that story.
I was nice and comfortable in my chair, and the phone rang, and it was my daughter, Christina, who was a nurse in the Air Force, and she called and she said, "Dad, when the guys go back to the States, they take all of our magazines and everything else we've got with them on the plane, and so our recovering soldiers here don't have anything to keep their mind occupied on during the pain of recovery. So they said, would you please send us something?" And that's how it started. So we started, my wife and I started, and my son went over there in a different location, and we said to him, "You got the same problem?" "Yes, we do." So we've been sending it. Did not think it was going to be 23 years, but I had served in Desert Storm, and that was 50 days. So we could do this for 50 days. But as it turned out, one day went on to the next. People in the neighborhood tried to help us out, people from other towns, people from other states, and it just grew.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I've been to the wrapping parties for Christmas stuff, and you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that needs to be sent. It started with magazines probably some candy and things like that, and then turned into things that they wear, whether it was socks or toiletries, or I remember for one of them, we contributed handmade neck scarves to keep the sand from going down their clothing and stuff, and the boxes just keep getting bigger and bigger and full of more and more things, all going to military personnel in places you don't want to know about, that are protecting our country and other people around the world. And that's why I say it's really God's work. These are things that these people really, really need. They look forward to it. So I'm going to ask the question, how do you figure out what they need? And then how are you sure that they're getting the goods and using the goods that you're sending?
Good question, John. What do they need? We usually ask the soldiers, what do you need? We do it either by email or letters or text, if they have that capability. And whatever they say, we go ahead and try to accommodate. That's one way. The other way is that people write to us and say, is there any chance you can get me X or Y or Z? And we go out and get it. And the last way, in 2005, I was in Iraq, and I was sitting on the end of a bed in a combat support hospital with 19 very badly wounded patients. And I was asking them, what do you need? What can we send? And the door opened up, and a nurse came in with 2 big boxes from Operation Troop Support. And I was like a little kid, you know. This system works. But I could tell you from the looks on their faces what they needed to make their day a little brighter. And we've been doing that ever since.
That's great. It really is. So how many packages did you send out last month, for example? Or the last shipment you made, how many?
Well, in the 23 years, we've sent over 1.5 million.
Packages, not things, packages.
No, these are boxes. On September 1st, we had a little bit of a problem because the post system has changed its requirements, and it's really creating a challenge for us right now. But generally speaking, we send about 50 to 70 boxes every week.
And the postage on those 50 to 70 boxes?
About $20 a box.
$20 a box, 50 to 70 boxes all the time, just consistent basis. So you mentioned the postage requirements are changing or changed. Talk a little bit more about that and how people can help with that.
Well, the way that it used to work is that we would put items in a box, and we would have public packings like you've gone to.
Mm-hmm.
People would go through, pick things up, put them in a box. The box would then be sealed up. I would weigh the box, and based on the weight, that's what developed the postage. The International Postal Union, which I never even heard of before, out of Switzerland, they are the referee between countries that have problems. And what happened as of September 1st, 3 months ago, is a new requirement came out that every single thing that goes into a box that's going overseas has to be numbered, has to be weighed. We have to put a value on that, and we have to put down the country of origin on whether it's a pen, a pair of tissues, a pair of socks, a paperback book. And of course, in Operation Troop Support, we get everything donated. You know?
Right.
So I really don't know where that pair of socks came from.
Sure.
So there's been a problem. We escalated it as far as we could. I wrote a personal letter to the president. We wrote to all of the congressmen. I got a call one night from Ed Markey, who I never even met, and he told me what he had found out, what's happening in Washington. Just last night, I got an email from Seth Moulton showing me a copy of a bill that he introduced to exempt military from this. And I'll tell you why it's so important, because since September 1st, according to the Postmaster General, packages to the troops have gone down 77%. And I'm getting calls, I'm getting letters saying, "Did you forget about me?"
Right.
You know, and it's breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what they're doing, the guys in the field are getting hurt.
Yep, absolutely. And unfortunately, anything that you do for a long period of time, for 23 years, for example, starts to become expected. So these military personnel are looking forward to receiving these packages on a regular basis. And the people in the hospitals know that whatever it is, once a month, a box from Operation Troop Support shows up. And when that box doesn't show up, that's the question, did you forget about us?
We get.
And write your congressmen, write your senators. Let's figure this out. Let's get Dick back on the right track and continue to support Operation Troop Support. Dick, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thanks for the past 23 years and hopefully the next.
Well, we'll do it as long as we can.
Wish you happy holidays and a great Thanksgiving.
Same
Thanks,
to
Dick.
you, John. Thank you.
Owen, over to you.
Thanks, John. Another great group there. Now I'm joined by Janet Nittman, the CEO of Windrush Farms, which is in North Andover. It offers therapeutic, mounted and ground program for children and adults with disabilities. Can you tell us more about the clients that you serve and what you do?
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, we serve children and adults from the age of 6 to over 80, children and adults and teenagers with wide ranges of challenges, physical, emotional, and cognitive. And we serve up to 150 clients a week.
That's awesome. And how do these horses at Windrush Farm make such a big difference in the lives of all your clients and all the different age ranges that you mentioned?
Horses are very special creatures. They've had a relationship with humans for thousands of years. It's been studied. There's been a genetic change with horses that has 4,000 years ago made them friendly, made them rideable. They become friends. Children who are perhaps on the spectrum, perhaps do not have friends at school, they come to the farm and they find a friend. Somebody who's blind can come to the farm and ride a horse that provides eyes and the legs for those people. And it's such a special activity that's physically good for you and emotionally good for you because you're bonding with a gentle therapy horse.
And speaking of horses and just getting on them in general, so how do riders who are physically disabled, for example, get on the horse? Do they ride alone? Do they need support? How does that all work out?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a ramp. Windrush Farm is the oldest riding center in the United States for helping children and adults with disabilities right here in North Andover. Our founder had this vision. And now there is a ramp that will take you up to the horse. And if you're not able to stand and get onto the horse, we have a lift that will take you up into the air and down onto your horse.
And in this current day, what does Windrush Farm need most to keep supporting their mission and your mission?
What we most need is more volunteers, people who want to help others who are facing challenges. We need sidewalkers who walk beside the horse and help the rider with their balance, help the rider understand the exercises, and we need people with horse experience to lead our wonderful horses in the classes.
That's awesome. And is there anything you wish people knew more about Windrush Farm or just about this type of thing in general?
I'd like everybody to know that we provide so many benefits. Over 60 years, we've helped thousands of people enjoy life, improve their confidence and their self-esteem. There is something very special about being on the back of a horse and going into the woods. I'd like people to know that we offer sponsorships to local businesses. We have an annual gala and field trips for schools, and we are nearly always open. So come and visit. Come and see what we do.
And you kind of mentioned this previously about the relationship with human and horses, but why is that bond so special, and how does that translate to your organization?
It's an amazing gift of nature that this did happen about 4,000 years ago. I like to say we've really only domesticated 3 animals. It's the cat, maybe the horse, and the dog. The cat, people sometimes question. But for some wonderful reason, the horse has decided that humans are actually good to the horses. We teach our clients to develop empathy, and that's really important.
Yeah, and just, 3 or 4 questions here that are just really important. One of them you kind of mentioned about the ramp Do you have any other adapted equipment for riders with disabilities?
Yes, we do. We have the English saddle, which is rather shallow if you want to have a faster ride. But if you have problems with your balance, for example, perhaps someone has had a stroke, then we use a Western saddle, much deeper. We have a belt that will go around you. We also have cushions that look like a donut, and they'll help you to sit on the horse. We have special reins for people who can only use one arm. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is other wonderful human beings who will help you ride safely.
That's great. And it must be challenging to teach riders with disabilities to ride horses. How are your instructors trained in this field?
We belong to an association called PATH, which is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. That means we're a certified centre, we're a premier centre, we're audited every few years. The audit's coming up again next year, and all of our instructors are trained. They have to take courses to understand the disabilities and how to teach riding. I can't thank my instructors enough for what they do. It's a very challenging job to teach a child with challenges on a pony, especially on a windy day. We've had a lot of windy days recently. They are amazing people who do this every day.
And a couple more questions here. So how can someone listening right now or watching this later get more information about Windrush Farm? And can people come and visit the farm and meet the horses?
Yes, we would ask you to let us know that you'd like to come, and we'll prepare a tour for you. Information is at our website, windrushfarm.org.
Right on the bottom.
And we really would appreciate your support.
And finally, so if someone did come to visit, what type of facilities do you have at Windrush Farm? And obviously, most importantly, the horses, right?
Yes.
What type of horses do you have?
We have mostly quarter horses. Anyone who's watched Yellowstone, you've seen quarter horses. It's your perfect horse. They're like the golden retriever of horses. We also have Haflingers. These are stronger horses that are very, very steady. They're perfect for people who need a steady horse, who might have issues with their balance. We have about 20 horses. We always need more. When you ask what we need more very good, very quiet horses. When I started this job 9 years ago, I thought, how hard is it to find a horse that will walk and trot quietly? It's very hard. Very hard indeed.
And that kind of wraps it up for me. Is there anything else you want to finish up with?
No, just to thank you so much for your interest, and do come and visit, and please look at our website.
And thank you so much. Before I throw it over to John, quickly, we want to roll in a group that didn't make it here earlier, similar to Habitat to Humanity. Let's roll in Mental Makeover.
Mental Makeover is a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded by myself and Emily Lonergan, dedicated to changing the way mental health is talked about through wellness, awareness, and youth education. I am currently one of the co-founders and co-presidents of the organization, and really what that means to me is helping people believe that there's a sense of community around them, and realizing that they're not alone when it comes to their mental health.
Growing up, I didn't know what mental health was, and didn't know I was struggling with it. I joined Mental Makeover in 2020 to learn more about myself, to learn more about my mental health and those struggles I had as a kid. Now, having learned that, I'm excited to provide wellness, awareness, and youth education to the community, and I'm so excited to be a part of this process. Mental Makeover to me is family, and just being able to go on with my mental health journey with 4 awesome people every single day, it's a pure honor and privilege to continue that and try to bring that to other people's lives. My name is Brandon, and I'm honored to be the Vice President of Operations at Mental Makeover.
My name's Tyler Provost, and I'm the Merchandise and Ambassador Manager here at Mental Makeover. Mental Makeover has given me the honor and privilege to be able to express mental health in a more creative way through our merchandise, giving people the opportunity to represent our merch and be able to spread our message and awareness of mental health in a non-vocal way, and to open up conversations with strangers that may have never happened before, with messages like "the world needs you" here on the back of our sweatshirts. As somebody who has struggled with expressing their emotions growing up, it is super important to me to give others the opportunity to spread our message without having to say a word.
My name is Hannah. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at Mental Makeover. The word community means so much to us as an organization because although we were founded in Salem, Massachusetts, our community extends so much further than that. We host in-person events throughout the year that attract thousands of participants and stay connected with our Mental Makeover family daily through our strong online presence.
My name is Emily, and I am the proud co-founder and co-president of Mental Makeover.
Mental Makeover is committed to fighting the stigma around mental health and empowering people to talk about their own experiences, thoughts, and mental health journeys. We recognize these needs in our community, and we wanted to be more proactive rather than reactive when it came to mental health. So we designed education and support tools to solve these problems that we saw growing up. Mental Makeover is the community and the family that I wish I had growing up to talk about mental health with. Mental health was not talked about enough growing up, and I felt alone in my own journey, and having Mental Makeover, having a community that does not judge, does not stigmatize, and really openly talks about mental health is healing. And that is why I am proud to be the co-founder and co-president of Mental Makeover.
On 3, Mental Makeover. 1, 2, 3, Mental Makeover!
Wow, that looks like a great organization. Anna Mary and I were just talking. We're going to have to look them up and find out more information about them. Well, so I'm joined here tonight by Anna Mary Geist. She is the president of It's My Heart New England, and it's a great organization. And Anna Mary, tell us all about your mission.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us. So It's My Heart New England is a non-medical, nonprofit support group for families affected by congenital heart defects. So those are heart defects that you're born with. We do education, advocacy, and support for the families in and around New England. And so congenital heart defects, like I said, are heart defects you're born with. It affects nearly 1 out of every 100 babies born, and it's the most prevalent birth defect in the world. And so Boston being like a great center of care, we have lots of families here in New England.
And a lot of these are defects to the heart that really can't be repaired. Is that correct?
Yeah, they can't be cured, but they
go.
can be repaired. So often the families that we support are the families in it for the long run. My son Sam is my passion behind the group, but then I've grown to love all the other kids too that are in the group. And so they often have multiple open heart surgeries. They have lots of catheterizations, lots of interventions and things like that. And so they need other families who understand what they've gone through, who have walked the journey before them. And so we try to be the coordinator for that support that families need.
Yeah, that's really wonderful, because to be able to talk to somebody else who understands what you're going through, who understands the trials and tribulations of the surgery that's upcoming, or just the journey itself and how long that's going to be, or the recovery period, or whatever it might be, having other families who can be there to support you and talk to when you need to talk to somebody, that's got to be a great, great help.
Oh, it's so good, because you can have a family support system, the best one in the world, right? But if they haven't been through what you've been through, you just get that little extra different support, and it really helps you get through the day-to-day, the nurse shift to the nurse shift, as we like to say. And so it's really
or people
good.
telling you the truth instead of, don't worry about it. It's all going to be fine. Right? Yeah. Exactly. So what sort of programs do you run that allow you to do what you do?
Yeah, we do a lot of good programs. So we have a hospital support program where we support families inside the hospital. So if they're inpatient, we'll bring them toiletry bags. We will bring them gift cards. We support one family per quarter having open heart surgery. So we'll support them for the whole week. So we'll pay for their parking, for their meals. We'll bring them treats if they have siblings. We'll also do something special for the siblings. We also do treat carts. So we just recently did some Halloween bags for the inpatient Halloween. And with that, we did a Harry Potter treat cart. It's really cute. You can find pictures on our website and in our newsletter. We also have monthly support programs. So we do fun things with the kids every month and the families. We take them to Storyland. We just did a whole host of apple picking. So we went to Tugis Farm. We went to Wallingford's Farm in Maine. We went to New Hampshire. We went to Rhode Island. So we go all around New England. And we did apple picking. We just went to Zoo Howl at the Franklin Park Zoo. We have a virtual gingerbread making, not a contest, but the activity coming up. And then we'll go at the end of December to Jordan's Furniture in Avon to do ice skating, because our families can't really be out in the cold like typical kids. So we do that indoor ice skating on synthetic ice, and it's really nice.
Yeah, I'll bet that is. And I've always wanted to try that. I've seen the synthetic ice. If you haven't seen it, it's like hard plastic, and there aren't really sharp blades, but they work on the plastic. And so it looks, and I'm sure it feels like regular ice skating, but it's a lot warmer and a lot safer.
For sure. And they have some tubing, so we take the kids down this little hill, and it's just like so great.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So Anna Mary, like many people who run nonprofits, has a full-time job that isn't this. She also volunteers at St. Richard's Church with me, and she does so much with this organization. And part of it's because Sam, as you had mentioned, is your passion, and that's what got you started, I can imagine. How can the Danvers community help you help others?
Oh, it's a great question. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for new programs. So we also have a birthday card program. So we need people to send out the birthday cards for us. We have 3 great coordinators right now. We have a newsletter that goes out, and we need newsletter editors, things like that. We also take volunteers for each specific event. So if somebody wanted to chair the gingerbread I keep wanting to call it a contest, but it's not.
Seems like it should be.
It should be, right? Maybe I'll turn it into a contest. I don't know.
The Great Danvers Bake-Off.
Yes, exactly. So we're always looking for volunteers for those things. We're also looking for volunteers to put things together. So we just had a heart camp this past weekend, where we took 13 families to a camp in New Hampshire, and we basically hung out all weekend, did activities. It was programmed with our program partners, Zebra Crossings, so it was really nice. The families had a great time, but we prepared bags for them. So we had volunteers put those bags together for us, and they were very tailored for each family. And so things like that, the comfort bags or the toiletry bags that we put together, we're always looking for one, if you're in a company that can run a drive for us and collect those items, because the more that we collect and is donated to the group, the less of our funds we have to spend and the more we can spend on families. Right. We're a total volunteer-run organization, so any donations we get go directly back to families, which is really nice. So the less of the monetary donations we can spend buying those things, the more we can spend on fun events and things like that.
That's great. You also have programs for siblings of the children with cancer, is that correct?
Yep. So we do a sibling Sundays. We just did one of those at the ropes course at Jordan's Furniture in Reading. So that was really nice, and it always ends with ice cream, and that's why we call it Sibling Sundays. And so they look forward to that. Because supporting siblings is also important. Sometimes, they're not the focus of the family, and so we try to make them the focus of our programs. And we also have one other program, the scholarship program. So we offer now $2,000 scholarships, 4 to 5 a year, for graduating seniors or kids in college already. And you don't have to have a heart defect to qualify for our scholarship. You just have to have a connection to our mission. And so that could be you start volunteering when you're a freshman. By the time you're a senior, you qualify just as much as someone having open heart surgery or a heart transplant. So
that's great.
Yeah.
A lot of great programs going on, a lot of great stuff you're doing, and I love the fact that it is so diverse. It's not like you're just a support group who, has, you meet for monthly meetings kind of thing. You've got a lot going on. You're doing a lot of different types of programs to reach a lot of different people with different perspectives, different age groups, different modalities, whether or not they can get up and do things, whether or not they're getting chemo now, or whether or not they're preparing for surgery or recovering from surgery, whatever it might be. It seems like there's always something going on that you can offer.
It's true. And we're actually, and you just triggered my memory, starting another program for bereavement of families. So families whose children didn't make their, survival rates aren't always good for kids with congenital heart defects. It's just a reality that we go through. And so we try to support our angel families as much as we support our living families or kids living with defects. And so we are starting a bereavement group where we'll meet and hopefully grow that group to then support the siblings of the angels and all of that. So we're really looking forward to starting that because it's a group just for families with heart defect losses. And so it's not just a general bereavement group, it's very specific, and there's not a lot of that around here. And so filling that gap is really important to us.
And I can only imagine, because these people have been through it for a long period of time. As you say, this is a congenital heart defect, so the child is born with it. So whether they live 2 years or 6 years or 10 years or whatever, the family is dealing with it for that entire time. So to lose the child then must be terribly devastating. And that's a great program that you're offering. And I love that you call it the Angel Families.
Yeah.
That's very, very good. Anything else Danvers should know about It's My Heart New England?
No, we have just always looking for volunteers. So you can go to our website, which is on the screen, and you can see we have an events page now which shows you upcoming volunteer opportunities. We have a big walk every summer in Danvers right at the high school. So that is June 28th of 2026. We have Heart Week that happens in February. And so we're always doing something in Danvers during that time as well. And like I said, we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for new ideas. It's Giving Tuesday coming up, so we'll be at actually Abiomed in Danvers, doing an event with them and educating them about congenital heart defects, although they know a lot about it since they make some medical devices for our kids. But that's another thing, you know, if you want to give on Giving Tuesday and you're looking for a great organization to support, like I said, we're all volunteer run, so nearly 100% of your donations go right back to support our families.
That's great, Anna Mary. Thanks so much. And I want to throw this out relative to all of the nonprofits that you saw tonight. If anything that you saw is appealing to you as a charity that you want to work with, don't be afraid to volunteer. Don't think I have to have training or I have to be a specialist at this, that, or the other thing I'm not that good at. Don't worry about that. All of these organizations need hands who can do simple things and help out and be there. That's the most important thing, right, is showing up to be there to help people. And they'll train you in whatever you need to know, and I'm sure it's not a lot. So if you want to volunteer, check out any of these organizations, especially It's My Heart New England, and volunteer. It'll be a wonderful, wonderful way for you to get involved in giving back to the community. And with that, we're going to look at a video clip. So this Community Connections is our live show, which we do once a year. Every month I do a show called Community Connections, and we take an in-depth view of a particular nonprofit organization. This past month I met with Lucy's Love Bus, and another great organization that I knew nothing about until I met with this woman. So take a look at this video and check out their organization. We're looking at a great nonprofit organization called Lucy's Love Bus. And I'm joined by Jackie Walker, their executive director. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thanks for coming today.
Yeah.
Now, I'm fascinated by your charity. It was really started by an 11-year-old girl.
It was.
And her mom.
Yep.
But Lucy, the 11-year-old girl, had cancer and was tired of cancer, as I understand it.
Yeah.
And she was feeling that she was losing or missing a lot of the important things in her life because of that, and didn't want other children to go through that. Is that correct?
That is very true, yeah. So Lucy was an Amesbury resident, and she was diagnosed with AML, which is the adult form of leukemia, when she was 8 years old. And so she went through 4 years of grueling treatment, and thanks to the community of Amesbury at this time, and this was the early 2000s, they really rallied around her family, kind of provided her family with everything they needed. And when basic necessities and childcare for her siblings was covered, she really, her family is really focused on quality of life. You know, she's going through these toxic treatments. New drugs haven't been developed in decades. Even to this day, there's not a lot of innovation. So she was really missing out on those things that helped her feel like a kid, helped her feel good. So luckily, the family was able to connect her to acupuncture, music therapy, horseback riding, things that brought her joy during some really, really challenging times. And so Lucy was actually being treated at Tufts Floating Hospital for Children, which has since closed their pediatric oncology wing, but she was in her bed and looked out the windows and said, "Mama, we're in Chinatown, right?" And her mom said yes, and she said, "Then why can't I get acupuncture here?" Acupuncture for Lucy was one of the only things that helped her feel good when she was going through chemotherapy. It was one of the only things that took the nausea away. So she knew chemotherapy was medicine to fight the cancer, and to her, acupuncture was medicine
to fight the
chemo. So why wasn't it just a medicine that was paid for like everything else? And so her mom kind of explained it wasn't covered by insurance. It wasn't seen as a type of medicine, even though it helped. So the only reason she could do it was because of the community that, you know, helped raise funds and that sort of thing. So Lucy decided when she was done with cancer that she was going to make sure that all of her friends who were suffering right now, the ones that a cure was going to come too late, that they had access to these same things that she did that brought not only physical relief, but really, really joy and a chance to be a quote-unquote normal kid during this time. So she called it Lucy's Love Bus because she was thinking of things that would deliver love and comfort. So she founded Lucy's Love Bus from her hospital bed. She did unfortunately pass away about 6 months later, but that was in 2006. So next year is our 20th anniversary, and Lucy's Love Bus has helped almost 2,000 children with cancer and their families in New England since that time. So her dream is very, very, very much alive and being carried out, you know, more than she probably expected or could plan, but her mission still drives us every single day.
All right, we are back. Again, I'm Greg Dolan. I'm the executive director here, and what a fun night this was, talking to these local nonprofit organizations and highlighting the amazing work that they do for the community. So Gayla and John, what stuck out to you guys about tonight?
I think the fact that we had so many new organizations that I was unaware of. I've been in Danvers for 50 years and involved in a lot of nonprofits, and so I did not know about a lot of them that I learned about tonight, and everybody's doing such great work. They really are. And that's the surprising part to me, is how much people care, how much people are willing to give back, and that's just great. Yeah.
And the buzz. We have to talk about the buzz in the green room. So these groups were networking together. They were trading cards. They were telling stories. They was giggling. It was so loud. It was great. So one of the key components is we really want to have that camaraderie and have them engaging and learning from each other. So check. We accomplished that tonight. And some great connections. So
that's great.
It was wonderful. They were so excited to share their stories and share what they do.
And there's one organization we haven't talked about that's sort of key to this operation, which is Danvers Community Access Television, also known as DCAT, the organization that you've been watching this program on. So DCAT has a fairly broad mission. We do public education and government access services. So public, if you want to create a show, learn about television production, volunteer. So we have a number of volunteers to thank tonight. Claire, thank you so much for doing the timer. Some of the stuff behind the scenes, the cameras and things like that you might not think about, but they really have to happen, and they have to happen well. So thank you to Claire. Jim, running around behind the scenes. Every year he's taken on the role of making sure that people are in the right place.
Thank you, Jim.
Jumping into where all the buzz is happening and pulling people on air and making sure everyone is in the right spot. So thank you. Thanks to Owen, who's part of our staff here, for doing the interviews on the other side of the studio, our Studio B. It's been, I think, his second year doing it, and he is great on camera. We love having him. Watch him for football next Thursday for Thanksgiving. He'll be doing the commentary. And there's just a lot that goes into it. Gayla, obviously, booking everyone. Ginny doing photos. Ben doing the switcher.
Ben's way over there.
Yeah, Ben is hiding, but he did quite a bit tonight, so thank you, Ben. And it's great. One of the things I love about DCAT is it's a group effort, and it's just really... It's really exciting to see what people can do when they're all pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, and John has been our co-host for how many years now, John?
I don't even want to think about how long it's been.
We don't want to talk about it. We're not
It's
allowed
been
to
a
say how
long
many
time.
years.
Not gonna count.
But thank you for being magical.
Since School Street, at least,
Pleasure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been
Pleasure
at
doing it.
least 15 years. So yeah. With that, I just sincerely thank you to anyone who's watching at home. If you have any interest in joining DCAT or being involved with DCAT, please reach out. You can get us at our website, which you'll see up there. You can also give us a call. Happy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
And I will promote a show that I mentioned earlier, the monthly Community Connections in-depth interviews with a nonprofit. If you are a nonprofit that couldn't be here tonight and you want the opportunity to tell the Danvers community and our YouTube community about your organization, contact Gayla. She produces the show and she sets it up for me. So if you're interested, please give her a call. We'll be happy to see you.
Because we know there's a lot of new stories out there we haven't heard, and we're ready to explore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we realized a few years ago that doing this once a year isn't enough. There's just so much good happening in this town.
Right.
So doing it monthly has been great. And the thing I've realized in doing this is I don't think we're ever going to run out of stories to tell, because there's so much good happening in the town of Danvers. So,
amen to that.
All right, and with that, I'd like to close. Thank you again for everyone who helped out, everyone who came in, everyone who volunteers behind the scenes and makes this happen. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night, Danvers.